Yo, YouTube family. It's your boy D. Some of you know me as D Right Cut. I appreciate you for tuning in today. Be sure to subscribe and comment, and most importantly, stay blessed, my peoples. With that being said, we got a beard lineup, C cups. We're gonna taper the beard a little bit at the top, and we're gonna put a crispy line on there. Simple but clean. As you can see, I always start by combing out the hair, the back of the nape, combing the beard out, the back of the ear, just to make sure all that hair is combed out and brushed out so that we can proceed and create this clean haircut that my client is going for so he can have a clean cut for wherever he has to go. So with that being said, we're going to jump straight into it. We're going to get straight to this and let's get it. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to go in and we're going to start tapering the beard out using my Babyliss Pro clippers. We're going to go in with our one open and we're pretty much going to fade the top of that beard out at the top. Now, I asked him about his mustache, if he wanted to take it down to even it to make it look level with the rest of the beard, and he did. So that is what I'm doing right there at the corner of his mustache. I'm pretty much just evening it out with the length of that beard, going with the grain, laying the hair down. I'm going to lay it down. So I'm using a one still, guys, but I'm going close with the grain, and then I'm going open against the grain here to taper that out. Now, it's not going to be a heavy bald taper. It's just going to be a light taper. He's an old school kind of guy, so he just likes it clean and simple with crispy lines. I always tell people this gets the job done, clean and simple, and it's quality. So tapering the beard out, we're gonna taper it out to give it a light tapered look. And as you can see, I'm checking back just to look at my camera visuals so I can see how it looks. Taking that mustache down with a one close, I'm laying it down, and that's always key portion, guys. So you can go with grain, you can go with the grain, but as long as you understand what you're doing, it makes a huge difference. So again, like I always tell you, if it's not broke, don't fix it. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So we're laying the hair down with the grain, laying it down, pretty much getting all the heavy hairs that are hanging up, sticking up, laying those down and getting those out the way, going around the back of his ear, getting behind the nape, and then going back against the grain, opening the clipper up and just getting out those heavy weight lines. Now, if you can understand the difference between the two and you know how to work them, it'll make your day as a barber or a stylist, whatever you are, it'll make it a lot easier. Cutting hair is nothing but repetition. And I try to teach this to people all the time. It's just experience is the best thing that any skill will teach you. As you get better over time, experience is the best teacher, and then repetition. And so we're going to taper that beard some more. On the other side, we're going to lighten it up, get that line in there so where it's real crispy, but you can still see there's a clean line on there. And so when this is finished, you're going to really see it. You can see it from where I lined them up the last time, but I just wanted to do this video because it's something different for you guys. And I don't know if anybody needs to hear it, but this is something that for me, it helped me being able to learn different things for different types of hair types, because I always tell people everybody's hair type is the same, everybody's different. So now I'm taking my 1.5 guard and I'm laying the hair down. So remember, I used a one to taper the beard. So a 1.5 is going to make all that blend in. And so pretty much we're just debulking the hair. Not shadow, but close enough. Just to keep it level and even, nothing crazy. It's looking good. And then with the type of style he's rocking it just keeps it all in one. He doesn't overdo it. He just needs something simple and clean. A simple and clean line will always get the job done, guys. And so if you can understand that, that'll help you in midst of doing any type of haircut and hairstyle. So I used a neck strip instead of spraying my level 3 hole spray. I used a neck strip and I sprayed it with the level 3 just because I didn't want to spray it all over his skin because it wasn't like a hairline. We're just doing a lining on him. So I'm going through and I'm applying that. It's going to stick and freeze and hold and pretty much get it prepped to line. And that's what we're doing. And if you've ever heard the saying, proper preparation prevents poor performance, that is all that is. So before I start lining him, I'm going back through and I'm pretty much just laying the hair on his nape and the back of his ear, laying those hairs down because we're just gonna line it up. It's simple. We're not gonna do anything crazy back there because of his hairstyle. We're just gonna line it up. So I'm cleaning it up, getting those hairs laid down, getting it clean. It makes a difference. And I stress it enough. I tell people that I can't stress it enough. So if you can understand how to do that and get it right and understand that you don't have to overdo it sometimes, it'll make you a much better barber. I think a lot of people overdo it sometimes and then they just realize that, hey, I just kept it simple. And essentially for your client, it's just better for them. So me, that's just something we're working with and we're getting better at. And just you guys and educating you guys on how to do these type of things for me is the easiest part. So now we're gonna go into this. We're gonna go line it up, line the back of his beard line up, and pretty much you're gonna see how I approach it. Now I start kind of top of the ear portion, maybe midway, and I work my way down to the bottom. I'm using my Babyliss trimmers again. I have a few different assortment of Babyliss trimmers and clippers, so I try to keep my variety separate, but it helps it for me to be able to know which clipper I can use. Some of my trimmers or clippers or hitters more than others. Some of them are stronger than others. So that's why we have an assortment of clippers. So you can see that that line's looking real crisp and clean. It's gonna make it look so good when it's all said and done. And for me is what I'm looking for, the ability to separate myself as a barber and those quality, clean, crisp lines. You can do that. You're never gonna miss. You're gonna be able to get all the clients and you're gonna be the best barber you can be. So now we're gonna get into the razor line, and always, always pull the skin, stretch the skin, touch key. Okay. So working on our touch here, and we're being able to stretch the skin, pull the skin the opposite way of where the blade is going down on in order to create that crisp line. Okay. And even at that high cheekbone, I'm pulling the skin and I'm creating a crisp line. Now my hand is in the way because this is an awkward angle to get on the camera. So I'm trying to give you guys the best visual, but stay with me here and you'll see it all come together. Okay. So the beard, a lot of people stress it with the razor. It's not hard. You just have to know and you have to have touch. The key to cutting hair is touch. Okay. So we're pulling the skin, we're stretching the skin, we're lightly using the razor. And as you can see, I'm just taking my time, making sure that those lines are crisp. So the bottom of that beard is coming together now, okay? So now that I have that part done, I'm going to continue to work my way through. And so what I did there is I told my client to blow a bubble so that I can get a more crisp, clean line applied on that beard line. And as you can see, it made a huge difference there. So that's what we're looking for, guys. And I live from different angles of the lighting because it helps me better decide and judge whether I want to either hit it some more with the razor or not. Okay, so now that we have the bottom portion done, using the tip of my trimmer, not the whole blade, the tip of the trimmer, I'm going to work from the middle of the C cup and I'm going to work my way to the top. In doing such, it creates a clean, crispy line. Now, for me, like I tell people, everybody's different. Everybody's method is different. I stick to the script. I stick to the blueprint. I don't overdo it. I don't underdo it, but I'm just me. And that's all I can be. But I know what I'm doing and I'm good at what I do. And if you know, um and I'm gonna teach you, but I want to better you, just to each one teach one, be better, and we all can learn. And even with me, I'm still always getting better. I be quality all the time. So that being said, you can see how I'm using the tip of that blade. I'm using my finger to rest on his face and trying to create that C cup, but I'm always brushing and combing afterwards, killing the dead hairs. Now you can see how that C cup has come together. A lot of people, need to help them. They want me to teach them, and that's fine. But the biggest way you can support me is, to what I'm teaching and educating in the videos that I'm dropping, and support me how you support me. Don't want to pay me. This is a good way to support me. So that being said, we're working through this C cup. We're using the tip of the blade. We're not using the whole blade, and you can see how that C cup has formed. And I'm very, very with my lines, meaning that I really take my lining serious, and I'm very, very detailed. I always tell you guys, make sure you cross the lines, T's, dot your I's. Understand that what you're working with and that if you can know what you're doing when you're doing it, it makes a difference. Now I'm hitting it with the razor on that line and just cleaning it up, making it crispy. It makes a difference. We're going to jump to the back of the nape here, and I'm going to show you just a quick lining of how I do the nape area. And I'm starting again from the midpoint or top point of that ear, and I'm just working my way down. A lot of times, guys, if you don't feel comfortable and you're having a awkward angle moment where you just can't get to it, tell your client to relax and drop their shoulder. Because it makes it kind of difficult to do it if they're very, very stuck like that. So guys, right here, I'm going to take my razor, stretching the skin, and kind of hit the middle of that C cup, and you can see how sharp it is and how crisp it is, and we're just gonna fine tune right here. Pretty much just touching up on the details, stretching the skin, pulling the skin so that we can put that razor on there and it is super crisp. That makes a world of a difference, especially on lineups, because that is what most men are looking for. With the back of the nape here, we're just going to start from the mid top to the top of the ear and work our way down. Sometimes it can be a little awkward, so if you need to, just ask your client to drop and relax his shoulder or work around it, whichever best suits you. But a lot of times it's just simple, and you can see how that just cleans up real simple. Working our way into this C cup on this other side is all right, so guys, we're to the other side, and like I said earlier in the video, if it's not broke, don't fix it. What you do to one side, do so. So same thing, different method of starting point here. I'm starting from the middle, and that's just because this is a dominant side for me, being in my right side, and it's the right side of his face. So it's easier to do certain things how I do them that way, but I'm still gonna go about it the same way, just in a different format. Using the tip of my blade, starting at the midpoint of his C cups, I'm going to start to create the roundness of his C cup. Now I'm using my pointer finger to rest either on his forehead or on his face, and I'm pretty much creating that round shaped look. Now this is going to be key because, like I tell people, you have to have precision with the C cups, but then you have to have patience and be detailed. Um, Touch a key part too, because you don't want to overly press and damage the skin or cut your client. And so the lighting here gets a little wet. Stick with me and watch it all the way through. You'll see the end result. Using the tip of that blade, I'm rounding about the C cup. I'm going through the motions of this cut. I'm brushing after every stroke, so I'm getting the dead hairs out the way. That huge difference, guys. And so I'm going to start now. Now that I got that midpoint done, I'm going to start at the top of the C cup and kind of way down to the midpoint to where it connects. That me to see that, okay, this is where I might need to touch it up a little bit. This is where I need to do this. Okay, you can get a better gist of what you're working with so that you can make this a more precision based cut, and it's detailed to the bone, gristle. You want it looking good and detailed. It makes a huge difference for your client, and they notice it. Especially when other people notice it. Oh, dang, that's a clean line. Your cuts, your style, stylish barber, whatever you call yourself, you want it to stick out. And that makes a difference for them, because then they know that you really care about your work. You take time in what you do. So using the tip of those blades, I'm working my way through this. Okay, guys, working my way through the precision of it. I'm getting it done. It difference, man. It really, really does. I stress it enough to you guys that if you take your time, you be precise about it, you have patience, and you connect the dots, it'll end up looking how it should look. But you have to have that to detail, that to detail, to want to be able to do that, to notice these things, to make the difference for your client. In doing so, ultimately, you just become a better barber. You become better at your craft. A lot of people who take this for granted, they don't appreciate the skill. But to each its own. It's about how you decide to go about this. You're either good or you can be great, as my pops would say. And that's kind of how I focus on things and how I go about doing things. So you can see I got that top portion done. Now we're gonna razor line that okay. Stretching the skin, pulling the skin. Now that's gonna give you a good view of it. So pulling the skin the opposite way, okay, with a nice little tension. Pulling the skin the opposite way, we're coming down with the razor to create that crisp line. And you can see it's giving a little ash line because of the level 3 hose spray. But as you can see, that C cup is nicely sharp. It's not overly done. It's not bare. And so Blowing the bubble creates a little bit more tension. So right there where the mustache connects to the beard, we can create that crisp line because there are hairs there, but they're baby hairs. And because we tapered it, I need him to blow the bubble so that I can get a crisp line on there and it looks good. And you guys see that. Boom. Look at that. Fuego, fire, however you want to say it, But these are things that help you become a better barber by understanding these things and learning these things, okay? So in the mustache here, these are the simple things. We're just kind of gonna start the mustache to where that beard connects to it, and that's where the lining of the mustache will be. Um, not underdoing it, but I'm going against the grain with my trimmer to get those little hairs out the way. Those are easier things than just applying pressure with the clipper or trimmer how it is and then putting it on the skin so that you don't damage the skin. So mustache, I'm using my pointer finger, my middle finger as a rest. Understanding the comfortability of this, guys, helps you become a better barber or stylist, okay? Being in what you do is a key thing. So we're gonna go up underneath his neck. Normally, a lot of people will take the trimmer and they'll just put the hard line. He's very sensitive under his neck, so I'm just gonna go against the grain in some of the portions and just kind of, less visible, cleaning it up so that it's still a little line there, but it's not as heavy and it's not as hard, only because his neck is very sensitive. Sometimes, press too hard, you might damage and cut the skin. So that's a big thing for me, guys. We're gonna line this beard up and then we're gonna get up out of here. Lining the back of the beard is easy and simple. Just do what you do and start from a guide point. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. It's your boy D. Let's go.